It's 9,360 days since March the 31st, 1995 years and 26 seasons later, and it all comes down to the last 27
riders on this grid, and not just academy riders who probably wouldn't even be here if it were not for and out of it watching at home, have been brought to this sport because of that man.
You speak to every, has always spoken about the influence, the inspiration provided by Valentino Rossi. Stars, possibly its biggest ever shining light. This is it, folks. It's farewell to MotoGP.
Around this tremendous circuit, one of the greatest when it comes to the way the fans are in Grand Prix start, 235 podiums, 115 career wins. Wouldn't it be wonderful?
Didn't have a bad career then, did he, by the looks of those statistics? You can see there the grandstands are packed to the raft of that, and you can see them all. It's a standing ovation. We haven't even started yet. They all to a...
Rookies will be hungry for glory. The team's championship at the moment looks like it's going one way, to the Ducati end. It's hard to imagine it'll go anywhere else. Keep your eyes on this man as well. 7th, Brad Binder's a hard chuds.
A special adrenaline rush at this moment just before it's lights out. Valentino Rossi's experience, the 432nd and final time. It's the final farewell. Grazie Vale, all around the world for their loyal support for a quarter of a century.
Already teary-eyed. It's been a long journey. It's about to end here. 27 starts. If not, that was the perfect start for Jorge Martin. Like a rocket ship, he leads down into turn 1.
Going into turn number 2 for the very first time. The Martinator, the Terminator off the line. What a launch by Jorge.
Oh, it's Miller in second. A good start from Mir. All wide from Alex Rins. That's not a good start at all. Aggressive early couple of corners from
Playson in the first sector. 10th to 9th. He's under early pressure here from Johan Zarco. No way through though for the Frenchman.
Him and Aleix Espargaro up ahead.
Jorge Martin. Somebody's out well wide. That's Brad Binder. He's got to be careful there. Espargaro sweeping through turn 11 for the first time of asking though. It's Martin from Miller. Joan Mir into turn 12, but let's see the speed differential here now. Mir, he's going to try and attack Miller. Look at the corner speed of the Suzuki. Absolutely swallowed by Pecco Bagnaya's factory Ducati.
Onto the start-finish straight we go to complete the opening. Bagnaia as well. Not quite close enough, but Miller will take the lead. Can he hold the line through turn 1?
Turn 2, the door a little bit ajar, and Martin says thank you very much, I'll have the lead back. Mir's corner speed through into turn 4. This is what we expected from the former world champion. Elbows out, fists out, and he's up in a second.
Binder 8th, Rossi in 9th.
Yeah, been a good first lap that by Valentino Rossi. As we mentioned, he gained that. Was that Rins just in a little bit wide going through turn 9? Got to be careful, it's still a little bit dirty offline here in Valencia. Can be.
Joan Mir looks really fierce here in second place. We're on board with the 2020 world champion, of course, race winner here.
Awesome drive out of 14 because he's running the risk of getting swallowed by those factory Ducatis. He nailed it perfectly here. That Ducati on this second lap. He was wide at turn 2, lost the lead. I think he's going to lose third place now.
Yeah, and that helps here in Valencia and drops back to 4th, and now he's got Rins on top of him, who's going through into turn 2, and Miller.
Early problems with a full fuel tank here, or whether the front tyre's not coming up to temperature just as yet, but yeah, he's been getting... That was one of the top 4 lap times on that previous lap.
Mir's going to have a look here into turn 6, is he? That looked very close. You can see Valentino Rossi, he's keeping track of Binder in 8th. So far, so good for the doctor.
Yeah, Jack Miller started lap down to 5th place. The 2 Suzukis, they threatened this morning. They started 4th and 6th. As we making so strong, he was top in this morning's warm-up session. This was on the cards, this kind of challenge.
Going in that wide sweeping line, he's going to just try and keep in check. We're on board with him now. The new hole shot off behind him, because here comes the Bologna Bullet alongside him. Rins with the fastest lap. Bagnaia up to 6.
We've had so far in this Grand Prix, only a couple of tenths away from Marc Marquez's 2-year-old best race lap.
Finish straight, I think. Which is no surprise given the machine that he's on. On board now then with Joan Mir, whose
teammate Joan Mir into turn 6, beautifully done, blue on blue. Alex Rins, he's really hard to place for the first time.
Well, we often say it, don't we? You never know what you're going to get with Alex Rins, but he's smooth and he's fast. If it seems like he has, then he's got an outstanding chance of victory here today. Quick shout out while we can to Aleix Espargaro as well.
Yesterday looked really strong, setting the best time in FP4. Didn't get the start on the first couple laps he wanted. Started 9.
Not going the way that the Aussie was expecting it in the early stages then. Jack Miller has been pushed now back all the way to side of your tower. Still in that 10th place. It's Nakagami trying to keep him company now. On board then with Quartararo. Someone just going slightly wide now into turn 2. He's gone wide again though himself, Jack Miller. Struggling to hold the line a bit here.
Cat is ahead of him, Quartararo. Miller was wide through 4. What What's going on with the front end?
Mistake on the opening lap. Brad Pitt. Oh, is that Nakagami?
That's
He's
Nakagami.
crashed.
I'm afraid that's a sight we've seen far too often in gravel.
He was just behind Valentino Rossi, I believe.
And far too many mistakes. So now Alex Marquez, the lone warrior for Honda in this 27, try and pick up some slipstream. Is he going to even attack Martin on the brakes down the hill into this final corner? No, he's losing touch, not just with Fabio Quartararo, but that top group are going.
Yeah, they really are. The top four. Of course, the Rookie of the Year battle right now would go to Martin because he's leading this race. So, two factory Ducati versus Rins and Mir. It's a factory Ducati in terms of its latest factory Ducati, but it's obviously Pramac.
His crew, he's going for it as well now on the inside of Bagnaia. He's so good at turning that Suzuki into turn 6. Who retaliates immediately through turn 6, but sometimes Suzuki must be pulling their hair. Here he is, again in Valencia, putting up a rousing fight for the win. If Alex Rins could just find some of that...
I love Alex Rins, he's class when he's in the mood.
If I had hair, I would pull it out because of Alex Rins.
In second, still, Jorge Martin leads. He has been so impressive. Fastest laps of the race, personal fastest for Quartararo and Miller. He might have just finally the 43.
Yeah, I wonder whether Miller's problems were related to the full fuel tank or whether it was just waiting.
Mir just again there slightly wide himself, losing touch momentarily of his teammate Alex Rins.
Yeah, deal with this kind of pressure right from the get-go. He led his first Grand Prix, didn't he, briefly, that he can handle no problem. And of course, he's got great pedigree here. Was it 7?
At the first rider that would have done that before. So, in the background there, fair play to Rossi, by the way, at the lap time is Pecco Bagnaia last time around. Here we come, around turn 13. Is Pecco lining up a move as well? And as we go across the line, we will complete lap 7 with 20 to go.
Yeah, Martin 31.5s. Mir just losing touch, a little bit of contact there. His lap was a 131.7. Lap. Rossi's got company, and it's a big threat coming from a certain Enea Bastianini.
Holding strong. Rossi did just put in his personal best lap of the race of 31.7.
Yeah, he might have bothered at managing his tyres. He comes on so strong in the second half of races, and people say this, but Enea Bastianini just making light work of some class opposition who qualified ahead of him. We saw him...
It really is, it really is. The rest of the field, though, are going to have to be concerned about what Ducati bring to the party. There's going to be an awful lot of work for the likes of Yamaha and Suzuki to do, because the back end of this season, they have been never had any speed here at all. Here he is in second place, and at the moment, keeping track of pace. He's not that far away from the tail end of Joan Mir, and just behind him, still Jack Miller.
Getting the run down to the first corner. So Rossi, unfortunately, at the moment, squeezed out of the top 10.
To turn 6, we've seen him make a couple of moves there already in this race.
That's the problem, isn't it, Steve? You can get on a completely different ball game.
Max Biaggi, of course, keeping check on Aprilia, but
their rivalry existed before, way before they even jousted against each other on circuit. Max Biaggi, FCC rider. I mean, those two, certainly from Rossi's perspective, they were bitter rivals.
Here, Jack Miller's gone through on the world champion Fabio Quartararo. So, be interesting to see now with the... Wow, both of them get fastest laps. A 31.261 for Rins, the fastest lap of the race so far.
Modern-day MotoGP. Joan Mir is a couple of tenths a lap off the pace of that top 3 in front. Going to come at 6, do you think?
It looks like he's lining that up. Here he goes. He's going to move over to the left now. Just a little look, wasn't it, from Pecco Bagnaia. Rins is there, ready to pick up the pieces as well, should it go wrong.
The way through on 2 of the best riders in MotoGP right now, undoubtedly the best motorcycle in Ducati right now. This is...
And Rins stays put for now. Jorge, awful lot of race left here.
Yeah, Martin, Bagnaia and Rins get back onto that top 3. Let's see what the lap times are as they come over the line now. Jorge Martin, the pole, is trying to respond here. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. That's class.
Oh, Martin was wide there, just a little wide.
Laps. So he's now got it back down to under half a second.
Second fastest rider on track, Jack Miller, just behind. Yeah, this one far from over.
Yeah, this is all building up to... In third place, at turn 6, where he looked so strong, Alex Rins down and out yet.
In his career, has he squandered excellent opportunities, carrying just a bit too much corner. Yaya
Yeah, I mean, is that related to a bit of front tyre pressure, being stuck behind the two? Wins crashed out of second in Portimao. He launched it in Jerez. He launched it in Le Mans. He podium places. Unbelievable. He's put Mir now in the top three.
Yeah, and he's put Mir in a position close behind him fourth. Here's the Dr. Valentino Rossi, of course, because of that crash, has moved up into 10th.
I've got to echo what you said about throwing that opportunity away, because Alex Rins, I had him down. There's not many riders that can manage tyres like him, meaning that he uses so little. I really thought Mir, you know how he dropped back? He's so... I didn't know whether he was dropping back or he's being so clever.
Yeah, well, he is a clever cookie, isn't he, Juan Mir? You never know, but at the moment he's 7/10 behind Aleix Espargaro.
Yeah, and yet another Rins bin scenario. That's put Valentino Rossi back in the top 10. Pecco Bagnaia again is just swarming all over the rear tyre of Jorge Martin. Is he going to make the move now on the DP21?
No.
And again, Martin
Too risky.
So good on the front end, isn't he, in the first corner? Makes crazy risks, is he, Pecco Bagnaia? There's a proper mature head on young shoulders there.
He is quick through sector now coming into those, so it's from here around to sort of the last corner where Pecco Bagnaia does have some.
And the last time Martin and Bagnaia did different lap times, that lap, the previous lap, was a 31.5. They're just absolutely on identical race pace at the moment.
And still doing 31.7s is Valentino
Valencia, that's for sure.
And then Jarvis looking on. Quartararo at the moment fifth, of course. He's
convincing this man, along with Masao Furusawa and Davide Brivio, to snare the signature of sick of Honda taking all the credit. He wants to be recognised as a man who was making such a contribution to them. Yamaha still reaping the rewards of that massive seismic change in the power in MotoGP.
Changed slightly. Martin's still doing an incredible job out front. Bagnaia cannot find a way through, but Mir and Miller, and we may well have an 8-wheel fight for the lead again shortly. Juan Mir is closing, and he's bringing...
Consider about Miller, Steve, as Alex Rins has to do yet another walk of shame, unfortunately, back into too often. That in 2021. We keep talking about this. Alex Rins, that is a prized. Alex Rins needs an incredibly strong start to next season if he's to convince Suzuki management that he's the man.
I make that at least half a dozen times. He's kissed goodbye to fantastic opportunities to pick up podiums and maybe even the team, but he can't get close enough, of course. Equal machinery on the start-finish straight here. He cannot get close enough to pounce on Martin.
Whether the start of the race, Jack Miller was just wary of burning up his rear tyre. Over the course of the weekend, you always do get quite a lot of tyre wear here in Valencia. It's a 4 kilometres.
There was a look there, a firm look from Pecco Bagnaia. They were side by side there for a moment, it looked like, but a gauge, because that will help him. The gap back to Mir in third is 0.4 of a second.
Well, based on yesterday's lap, Bagnaia said sector 4, Martin was untouchable. He was supreme in this last sector now for pretty much the whole race, from lap 2 onwards.
He's going to have a look into turn 14. He's getting closer, Bagnaia leads then into turn 14, and that brings Mir a little closer to the action as well.
Clear track in front of him as Pecco Bagnaia here just been keeping his powder dry, keeping some life in those tyres. Now
Martin then relinquishes the lead for the first time with 12 laps to go. We're just past half, still there, back in fourth place. Now with some clear air ahead of him, what can Pecco Bagnaia do? From Pecco Bagnaia.
Yesterday, Jorge Martin felt like he had podium pace, but he felt like the better Jack Miller. What will happen now is Mir and Miller will see Bagnaia getting his head down here.
Great move,
yeah, lovely.
From Pecco Bagnaia, nice and clean as well.
That's the textbook turn 14 move.
30s here from Pecco Bagnaia. He's broken clear of Martin by 0.3 of a second, who's now in turn of the number 63. There's 11 laps to go, and Bagnaia crosses the line and does get a 30.
He's hit the front. The tactic has clearly been, right, let's really try and stretch away here. Let's push these guys. They're going to burn up their tyres quicker in the process as well. So this could be the decisive move here by Pecco Bagnaia.
2019, so Bagnaia in the groove, and he's now opened up a 0.6 of a second lead over Jorge. Here's Jack Miller closing on Juan Mir.
It looked like a foregone conclusion that Ducati were going to cars now, with Bagnaia at the front and starting to claw away from Jorge Martin.
Moment, there's a quartet of Italians from 9th to 12th. Bastianini, Rossi still 10th. Ahead of Franco Miguel Oliveira 14th, Iker Lecuona at the moment taking the final point.
Well, with his own personal best lap of the race, a 1:31, 1:41, all sympathetic to Bagnaia.
Danny Pedrosa, of course, many battles from 2000. He's keeping a close eye on Brad Binder. At the moment, 8th place for Binder. That error on the opening lap has cost him.
Zarco, at the moment, he's been outpaced and outclassed over the last few weeks by the likes of this full touch of 2021, where he looked like a title contender in the first third of the championship, didn't he?
You have to feel sorry for Juan.
Good he is, Steve, because
yes,
Ducati have been so superior here this weekend in the dry, and there's only one man at the moment. But once again, I'm afraid, Rins buckled.
Martin has not been dropped at all, has he? Line next. It looks like Martin might have just made up a tiny bit more time again. Let's check with the lap times. Across the
Ducati are flooding the grid next year with 2 more Desmond Sedicis, 8 bikes on the grid. It's not just
into turn 2. That was coming. Mir then finally has to relinquish the final podium spot now.
Can Mir get back through at turn 6? He's going to run a tight inside line, but Miller's too strong. He got the good drive coming out of bikes next year for Ducati, but it's the talent that's on top of those motorcycles as well. It's going to be tough to go into turn 2, pinch the inside line, and now up into 3rd place, and now we are on course for history. Out of the MotoGP podium.
Quite the rivalry, that one. Casey Stoner versus Valentino Rossi.
One corner.
Yeah.
The corkscrew at Laguna Seca in 2008.
It really was, but he's still about a 10th off. He's got a lot of time to find.
Jorge Martin, take a bow. Directly ahead of him. The gap is still just over 0.2 of a second. He must have thought, that's going to break them. That's going to break them. It hasn't broken Jorge Martin.
Jack Miller then just made half a 10th up in that last sector, back in 3rd. Further back, Jones. So Zarco now up into 6th place overall.
Looks like
and he has done, as you would expect. He's a rookie in MotoGP. It's such a tough task, but let's not forget, he is a race winner in Austria. He is going to be a bit of a weapon, I think, next year. Jorge Martin.
Yeah, next year, because he's an absolute warrior. Without any question, he's one of the best riders in that to drop over a second behind Jack Miller in 3rd place. He's 2.5 seconds now behind your race for the help
as well.
Yeah, because he can't ride that bike any harder. He's getting the best out of himself every week, getting the style from Juan Mir. Poetry in motion. What a shot that is.
Last year, and still, Bagnaia cannot shake off the advances of his brilliant rookie this year. Look how close he's got now. This is the closest he's been for maybe Martin. Fancies another go at P1. Further back, Miller still 1.1 seconds to the number 89 through sector 3.
Fabio Quartararo on that last lap was Gigi Dall'Igna looking on, the Ducati Corsa general manager. What a job he's done this year.
He's not done yet. He might be a second down, but he's just posted his fastest lap of the race, a 31.1 place, Rossi, and he's still in the 131s.
This could be a most apt fit. He was the first signing to the VR46 Academy. These two have got an incredibly close relation, fitting way if they came over the line together here in Valencia.
It really would. This is a good ride. Has taken another 10th out of Jorge Martin. Is there another twist to come? Has Bagnaia also now broken it?
Jack Miller loves a late flurry in a MotoGP World Championship campaign. 2019 he was on the Morbidelli in race 2 for the podium place, well, for the victory, and then he was on the podium.
This from Pecco Bagnaia, 31.4, 31.5 for Martin, and again Miller just that 0.2 quicker again. Final race of the season. In the background, Quartararo continues to close in on Juan Mir as well.
Battery, they have never had in their history a lockout of a MotoGP podium. They've been 2003, the heyday of Casey Stoner, who we just saw there down in the factory Ducati garage, their finish. This is lining up to be here for the Bologna brand, on course for the top 3.
Miller's burning up, distant background, 4 and a bit laps left then for Gigi Dall'Igna's men. In sector 3 from Miller as well.
Juan Mir needs the checkered flag to come quite quickly, because Fabio Quartararo, that battle for 4th place still very much alive by the looks of it as well.
Across the line we go, 4 laps. He's in 3rd. The gap now down to 6/10 between this man on your screen and Miller just behind him. A bit too late for Jack Miller. Of course, this result with fine as well. Further back, I can't honestly praise Valentino Rossi, in the 31.7 still in 10th place with 4 laps to go. The 42-year-old wide, that might just offer Miller an extra half a tenth.
There's only the top 6 on that last lap that were faster than in style. It'd be great to see him get a rare dry race top 10 in his farewell season, but that's what he's on. He's about 4 tenths clear of his great mate.
This might be it now for Bagnaia. The gap looks big enough, doesn't it? Been just a different class the last 6 races, and across the line we go. A little bit of bother. Joan Mir is in bother with Fabio Quartararo.
There could be 4th place up for grabs, right, but he's had nothing for these 3. Bagnaia's got this one covered. What about the battle for 2nd place with Martin and Miller?
Further stages of this one, but here is the doctor, Valentino Rossi. Here are the shots then.
Beautiful shot there. And at the moment he's on course for what would be a really strong ending to his Grand Prix. He's going to finish in P10 as well.
Bagnaia 8 tenths clear now of stands. By the way, Martin would take the Rookie of the Year title, thoroughly deserved considering he missed 4 rounds.
Maybe next year, if Nea Bastianini can work out how to qualify on a soft tyre, because his race pace, absolutely 31.4.
2 to go. Brad Binder's all of a sudden just started getting some good speed. At 31, might be a bit frustrated with that mistake on the first lap because he made a good start, got himself up into 5th place. 1-2. He'll know the importance of a Ducati 1-2-3. Uccio Salucci, of course, keeping a look.
Our team desperately trying to hang on to this 2nd place. He would love to finish the season from the times. So mentally draining and physically draining, that horrible crash in Portimao to carry on racing. It was 8 fractures, wasn't there, in that horrendous FP3 crash in Portimao on the podium. But it looks like he's going to be on the rostrum in the final Grand Prix.
Pecco Bagnaia then crosses the line with a... Is he about to find a way through into turn 1 now? He's very strong on the exit of turn 1. Will he make a move in? What's his left for the doctor?
Yeah, has he done just over 46?
Just a
and
bit.
Just 4 to go. Can you believe it?
Jack Miller, you just know. Hey, he's all in. Where does he pick his moment? In the background there, Quartararo's getting close enough to make a move on.
Understand what Jack Miller's observations are about those first 4 or 5 laps, Steve. He did lead early on, didn't he? Then got dropped back to 5th.
Make a move on Jorge Martin. The pair of them have actually just closed on this final lap on Bagnaia, but it looks like
an Italian motorsport. The first ever Ducati lockout, and Valentino Rossi's farewell.
The checkered flag, because coming around the final corner now, the doctor, the legend, Valentino place, a valiant effort. Ronaldo waves him by. Grazie Vale. Bagnaia, wow, 4 wins in 6 races. A Ducati 1-2-3.
First ever lockout of a Premier Class podium. Congratulations, Bagnaia, Martin and Miller.
Number 46 here, going over to his fans. So many people are going to want to have a peek. He has brought joy and inspiration to millions of people worldwide, and that's love. Valentino Rossi's last ever Grand Prix race.
That's almost like the fairy tale ending, isn't it? And to really, in many respects, to keep the future of Italian motorsport talent going in MotoGP. One of the greatest Grand Prix careers in history then finally reaches its conclusion,
and that's